You coordinate the grid. You don't own it. By design, you operate in a required state of strict, essential neutrality. You see the congestion, the interconnection queues, and the aging infrastructure retirements. Without a lens into the specific needs of the community, this neutrality forces you to treat every load as a generic fragment, stalling decisions and stranding value. This graphic maps the geometry of fragmentation. Institutional blind spots create a top-heavy structure of systemic debt. $120 trillion in global flow struggles to service $348 trillion in debt. Below that weight, $242 trillion of capital sits trapped at the base. Deferred maintenance functions as an unfunded liability on your balance sheet. It is a mounting deficit that threatens the grid's physical foundation. Look closely at this control screen. Your SCADA systems read the information ledger. They track productivity metrics, megawatts, load forecasts, and interconnection queue positions. No node holds the whole picture. The other half is the sovereignty ledger, which tracks the human and ecological purpose of the community, such as workforce burnout and watershed depletion. Forecasting demand using only the information ledger forces you to overbuild to meet artificial peaks. This leads directly to billions in stranded, unutilized assets. This massive overbuilding serves phantom demand, a false, empty necessity created entirely by missing data from the sovereignty ledger. Solving fragmented data means you will continue building for phantom demand, rather than the actual living needs of your community. The sovereignty engine provides the mechanism to unite these two ledgers. It connects them without requiring you to surrender control of your infrastructure or your authority. In the Lock 7 protocol, an external query enters your secure node and returns a validated response. Data never leaves your source. Currently, public records you hold are latent, visible but unactionable. Granting query permissions turns this latent visibility into action. The data becomes warm. Enabling these queries transforms the SCADA system into a queryable revenue stream while maintaining your exclusive command of the infrastructure. When the information and sovereignty ledgers finally connect via the network, they meet at a specific juncture called your calibration point. This connection reveals your grid's JADO, the highest amplified deprivation concentration. This metric quantifies the physical and financial cost of grid fragmentation. JADO manifests across 4 distinct load types. First, severe workforce burnout, escalating consumer energy debt, costly deferred grid maintenance, and total watershed depletion. This JADO metric measures the ecological debt of the grid. Here, lacking cooling capacity and watershed flow deficits translate to 4.1 lost years locally. Identifying JADO at the calibration point allows phantom demand to evaporate. A dynamic equilibrium between production and consumption takes its place. Activating this warm data triggers a 4-stage recursive funding architecture. In stages 0 and 1, we estimate the value currently trapped within your system, and you grant warm data access. This stage involves no surprise fees. Stage 2 introduces a 2% metabolic fee, which sustains the global protocol once the network goes live. This visualization models the critical stage 3. The circuit closes, and the input of warm data releases a 30-6-to-1 leverage of previously trapped capital back to your balance sheet. This recursive logic converts defensive grid spending into deployable capital, allowing the operator to fund maintenance through previously trapped leverage. This capital release includes the entity dividend, a permanent financial reward distributed to you directly from the network's flow. You earn this dividend by acting as the aggregate point. Because you organize the calibration point and hold the lens for the entire network, your reward is permanent. You also receive reciprocal watts. These act as the network's unified, non-speculative currency, specifically targeted to dispose of your localized JADO and fund ecological healing. When the grid reaches full coherence, energy is directed automatically to the highest need nodes. 25% of these watts are redirected to stabilize and heal the local watershed. Your data must become warm. Open the Sovereign portal to reconcile your two ledgers. Stop solving fragments and start completing the whole.